Welcome to the Startup Competitors Podcast, where we talk with early-stage entrepreneurs to understand what information they use to inform product roadmap, strategy, and market differentiation.
All right, welcome to the podcast. I'm Mike Kelly, and today we're sitting down with Susan Marshall with Torchlite. Susan, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Why don't we start with a quick overview of Torchlite and who you guys are and what you do?
Yep. So Torchlite is a marketplace of digital marketing experts. And so what we do is we connect the best possible talent to your brand. So if you're looking for an email marketer, a social media person, someone who can create content, strategy, we curate those freelancers, match them with businesses, and then allow you to collaborate in our platform to get work done.
And help people maybe understand where you are in the journey. How many Torchlighters are there? Am I getting that right? Torchlighters?
Yep. We call them once go through our vetting process, and they're a full-time professional consultant or freelancer. They've been in the market for a while. They have multiple clients. We can get references, and they become a badge Torchlighter. So vetting them and getting the good ones is an important part of our process. But we have about 350 freelancers, consultants in our network. Probably half of those are in the email marketing automation type space. That seems to be a real need and a real gap out there, finding people who know how to build nurture tracks and, build very personalized communications, pulling data sets from multiple sources. So we fill that technical gap. We have 18 employees. So the majority of our people who work on behalf of Torchlite are within the freelancer community. And then our platform helps manage all of those specialists.
And then Torchlite, you guys have been around
2.5 years. 2.5 years. Yep.
Are you willing to talk about revenue, funding, anything like that to give people an idea of kind of how big you guys are?
Sure. And sort of our journey might be a little bit different than other tech startups. We decided that before we would start writing code or building a product, that we would find freelancers that were really good, find businesses that had a need, and then put them together. And through that collaboration and experience, we would be able to figure out what the tech would be in order to scale that. And so we had a lot of success early on because there is an acute need. And so we got to $1 million in recurring revenue within about 6 months. But which is awesome. But it's services recurring revenue. It's not software recurring revenue. So it's not as predictable. But, we've kept about half of those customers till where we are today. So we've been able to keep them happy, get them to renew, which is good for a services business to have that kind of renewal rate. And then over the last 2 years, have started to build the platform and just relaunched the marketplace 2 weeks ago, which is
I had no idea.
Pretty crazy. I know, right? Yes. So that's just all the learning that we've learned over the last couple of years to make sure that the right freelancers are in there, that we have the right tools for them to collaborate, and now people are coming and they're buying services directly through our software.
Got it. And do you guys take a transaction fee on any gig that gets booked? Okay.
Yep. So it's free for you as a user to go in, you browse through templates, which are prepackaged services. So it's a little bit different than a typical marketplace. A freelancer will go in and they'll say, I can do 500-word email in MailChimp every month for you for $550 per month. And it'll include all of these deliverables. This is how long it'll take. This is what it's priced at. And then you can go, yes, I want to buy that. And you can request them to get started. And then you can pay through a credit card and collaborate through the software.
And who is and maybe there is no ideal here, but who is your customer today? Is it a SaaS startup? Is it an established company? Like, who's coming to the site to buy services?
It's usually a small to mid-sized company, startups, people who typically know what they want, but they just can't find the people to do it. So they have gaps on their team. They can't afford a team of, 5 to 10 specialists who are specialists in the different marketing disciplines. So they're like, I need a part up person. I need to build an email template. They know exactly what they want. So they come to our site and find it and then start executing. So we have a few startups in town already who are using our platform. They're savvy. They're technically advanced, I would say. And so they know what they want and they can go buy it directly and start working. And they like that on-demand access to the resources that they need.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. So when you think of competition then for the core platform,
Mm-hmm.
do you have a model of a competitor who comes to mind immediately? And you can say them, you don't have to say them, it's totally up to you. But like,
okay.
who do you think of as competition? And then maybe how do you think about how you guys are different or differentiated from them?
So there are no shortage of marketplaces out there when it comes to digital marketing. The best ones are specialized in either a particular type of a service, like think of 99 Designs if you're looking for a logo. Growth Geeks is one that's more about growing your social media presence. So they've gotten very niche and very focused on a particular type of service. And one that I like a lot is called TopTal because they do a great job vetting all of their experts. But they focus more on software development, that kind of thing. So our niche and how we differentiate really is our focus on this very technical part of digital marketing around email marketing automation and then the content that you need in order to really make that work. We also have a partnership with Salesforce Marketing Cloud. We are a certified partner there, and they have no shortage of customers who are in the small, mid-size who buy the software and just have nowhere to go to get the kind of help that
to get the content,
even get it set up and all of that. And so we differentiate with our focus there, and then also by providing the collaboration tools within. So not only can you find the experts, but then you can work directly within the platform. So it's complete transparency and payment is handled within the software too.
Genuine curiosity here. Do other platforms like MailChimp and stuff like that have certified partner programs as well?
They do.
Are you guys going after those? Do you have those?
We are. We already have freelancers and consultants in our platform that are, certified. MailChimp, HubSpot is another one, Marketo. There's over 5,000 MarTech tools out there. So, I think one of the things as a startup and when you're growing, it's better to find a niche and kind of nail it. And then you can grow into all the other MarTech solutions. And it's hard. I think it's hard for a startup to focus and get niche because you're looking for that revenue and you're, whatever you can get the business, you want to get the business. We can do that. Sure. And, we find ourselves in that trap a lot. And certainly we can, but getting focused, I think, is a way that you can grow and then expand into other. And there's no shortage of business with Marketing Cloud customers that need a lot of help.
When you and your team sit down to do roadmap planning for the platform, what are some of and I'm sure part of that is looking at the market and trying to understand what are other platforms doing and where are they going and how are we going to be different? What are some of the ways that you guys capture information on kind of current trends and what's happening? Is there any process that you guys follow, or is it more ad hoc?
I would, just to be honest, I think at first it was kind of ad hoc and just in our brains. And I just found this article, I just found this competitor, or this customer said this. And
where do you guys share that?
We in Slack, so we have a product channel in Slack where we share information. But we just started using something called Airtable, which is a sort of online shared, almost spreadsheet type application where we're capturing.
I've seen ads for this on Twitter, but I've never clicked into it.
Yeah, we like it. So it's we have now a product manager on our team who's focused on gathering requirements, talking to customers, looking at what our competitors are doing, and then pulling that into Airtable so that we can share it with our UX and UI designers and with our product team. And then you can start to prioritize within that. So we do have a tool now, because before it was just product meetings, conversations, emails. Hey, we should think about this. And this competitor is doing this and the customer needs this. So we better go build that. But now we're putting more process around the development.
So you're in a classic two-sided marketplace, right? So you have buyers and then you have the marketing professionals. How often are you reaching out to, I guess, both of those groups to understand what they want and where they think you should go as a platform?
Yeah, that's a challenge of our models. We really have two customers. We have our consultants who, the kinds of features that they're looking for have more to do with, which makes total sense, ways that they can share their templates and their services to get more business into the platform. They have all sorts of great ideas because they are marketers themselves. And because their services are prepackaged as templates, they have ideas like, I want to be able to embed that template in my blog or in a third-party blog site or as a tweet and to get them right into my storefront. So they have storefronts inside our platform where you can go through their services and buy. So we know what they want. So they want to be able to, they want features that'll help promote their services. They're very vocal about it. And then they also want things that make it super simple to get paid and to, administer their services.
Right.
So the best, most talented consultants, freelancers in our platform want to just focus on their craft, like I like to say. So they just want to write those emails, set up those nurture tracks. They have data geeks. They want to figure out how to pull the data in so that you can be more personalized. But they don't want to deal with the billing or the business development, or they want to. So we know what they want. And then our customers, they want to be able to easily find the kinds of services that they want. And then they want better sort of visibility into what they're doing. So we're working on different search criteria and collections of different types of services packages. They also want to change scope, as you can imagine, and how does that change things after they decide they want one thing and then they want another thing. We feel like we have a good grasp on what both sides of the marketplace want, and now it's about prioritizing and,
I guess some of my experience has been with other platforms, whether it's like Fiverr or 99 Designs, whatever the case may be. There is sometimes, whether that's the business trying to push things offline or the freelancer trying to push things offline, it feels like in many of those markets, there's somebody is always asking like, hey, could I just work with you directly? Do we need to work through this platform? What's your experience with that as a platform? Is that something you're constantly trying to struggle against to keep people on the platform, or are the Torchlighters just thrilled to not have to manage all that stuff themselves, so they naturally just want to stay there?
Well, I think that's something we think about all the time. We call that breakage, where we don't have. It really is our fault if we don't have a good enough user experience to where they just think it's easier for them to just call each other and talk about it. So far, we haven't had much breakage, but again, we just launched a couple of weeks ago, so we're just starting to get people in it and using it and tracking it. And one of the things we built in early was we use something called Grafana, which is a tool that can track all sorts of interactions and behavior within the app. So we can tell if somebody has requested a service, whether or not they've completed the transaction. So we're tracking that to see what's going on. But that is something that we have to constantly be aware of. And if we make it super simple for both sides of the marketplace to get their work done there, the freelancer would be willing to give up 10, 15% margin just not to deal with it outside of the platform.
Yeah. How do you have a feeling for how many of your consultants or what percentage of business Torchlite represents to these consultants? Are some of them like, is this it? Is this their marketplace where they get business? Or are you more like 20% of somebody's business, or
I would say
they're doing work on the side? And
yeah. On average, I would say, I don't have the exact stats, but that we're probably 20% of their business, although we have a core group of about 50 that I would say the majority of their business comes from us. But the wider network has quite a few customers. But we encourage them to have business outside of Torchlite, to continue growing their practice throughout multiple platforms. And yeah. And a lot of them, when we brought them on, already had established clients as well that they've been working with.
That's interesting. Do you have any luck bringing established clients into other gigs?
So that's good. Yeah.
How much, when you think of product development and who you're trying to build for, I would imagine somebody who is doing the majority of their business on Torchlite has a different set of expectations for features and functions than somebody who it might represent 20% of their business. Have you seen that, or is it pretty consistent? They both want the same thing.
It's pretty consistent. It goes back to how can I promote myself and my services, and how can Torchlite help me do that? And how can you make it really simple for me to collect payment and manage my invoicing and all of that? So So far, it seems to be the same, but maybe that'll change as we start to get more and more people on the platform where they're just getting a few gigs and it's not the majority of their business. I don't know that yet.
Also, kind of curious, are most projects one time and done, or are most of them recurring? Like, we're going to do this every month, like you said, we're going to send an email every month or do a thing every month?
Like I said, before we even had the platform and we were selling outside the software, the majority of it was recurring. And then those recurring customers started adding on projects. And so within the software today, we launch recurring services, and payment is a little more complicated than a one-time from a development standpoint.
Yep.
So we launched just with the project-based fees first. And so the next thing that we're going to do is launch the recurring. So I would just say if you're looking outside of the model, it started off quite a few recurring. We expect that would mirror itself within the software as well. And some of our competitors do that quite a bit too. And that's good for both the freelancers and us if we can get people signing up for recurring monthly services. Also good for the customer because they have somebody that knows their business. It's repeatable. They learn and grow together. Don't know yet because we don't have recurring yet in the software, but that's in the May release.
When you look out 3 to 5 years, what do you think is different? Where's the platform 3 to 5 years from now? And what are you guys excited to kind of be going after?
I think that, within the software, we'll have all sorts of data around what campaigns people are running, even what's performing well, what's not, which freelancers are hoping to connect then to the systems that are actually delivering so that we can pull back some of the analytics.
That's interesting. So you guys collect performance results of the various campaigns that are happening?
That's something that we're hoping to do through integrations.
Very cool.
And one of the original releases, we experimented with that. So with that data, we can start to make recommendations on things that they should be doing. And then we can also track performance of an individual freelancer. So there's nothing out there that really scores a independent contractor or an individual based on their ability to deliver the kind of results that you want. That's something that we're excited about. Sort of that human capital rating and management, and then promotion of the best possible talent for you and your organization.
So one of the things that is interesting, because I've been obviously been tracking you guys since you launched, you guys did, which you should, you're a marketing company. You guys did an amazing job with promotion, I think, when you launched, and touting your successes and stuff like that, which I know that's a big part of how you get people on the platform and, get the word out there about what you guys are doing as a business. But has that promotion resulted in a large concentration of business here in the Midwest, or are you guys, do you find that you're a national platform now and you're all over the place? I'd love to hear a little bit about kind of what you've done from a marketing perspective in the business to bring on both consultants and businesses nationwide, or even globally, if that's the case.
I think we had one person in Canada, so we're not quite global. But so we started out probably like a lot of startups would, very local referrals, who you know, and then grew by verticals. So when we had a success with a particular type of customer, we could go to other customers that were similar to say we drove this kind of success for Napa Auto Parts, for example, is one of those customers. And so within the automotive space, we were able to go to some of the other manufacturers that sell through Napa and grow outside of the Midwest through those references and referrals. So that's one of the things we do. And, events have been good for us. And that doesn't mean, for startups, you don't have to go and do a $10,000 sponsorship at a major event, but you can do great, drive to Louisville, to Nashville, to, whatever's close, spend $500, get some beer, and bring in both. We've been able to bring in both the freelancers and then also the brands and sort of have it be a networking event and start to grow a business.
Do you guys run those events yourself?
And we do them ourselves, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And in partnerships, I would recommend doing it with somebody who's adjacent. They're not a direct competitor, but also selling to the same audience. So we just did an event with Quantify, which is a, AI-driven ad platform. And they sell to marketers, we sell to marketers, but we do very different things. And so we're able to attract the buyers that would want to buy both and provide content. We had it here at our office. Monday night, there was about 50 people that showed, And both of us were going to be able to get some business out of that for very little. I mean, for $500, bucks just to buy some burgers and beer or whatever.
Yeah.
So those are always good. It requires a little bit more work and time, but it can be very profitable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you're doing most of those events still regionally, right? So all driving distance locations and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I mean, obviously, if you spend a lot of that time in the Midwest, are there markets that you guys are concentrated in where you ever feel like you would have like the standard Torchlite users conference or something like that, where you could see a much larger way for people to network or things like that, or
for us to host that, do something?
For you guys to host something like that?
We're not quite at that place, but I could see, we were just in Nashville, and that was a great location and attracted quite a few marketers. Emma's there, Delivera, they just acquired, and Campaign Monitor out of the Bay Area. So that was a well-attended event, great venue, lots of obviously other bars and things around the area where you can attract people to come and visit. So it doesn't have to be the San Francisco, New York, Austin anymore. These second and third tier cities would make great places, I think, for larger events. And here in Indianapolis, people are willing to come here too. Yeah. There's a lot to do and see here.
I'm a big Nashville believer. Our first 3 podcasts were entrepreneurs from Nashville.
Yeah, I'm too.
Yeah.
It's 4.5 hours from here. So,
yeah. All right. So what are you working on personally right now in terms of whether it's learning something new or challenging yourself? What are some of the things that you're interested in, and what are you doing to learn about them?
As a CEO and founder?
Yeah. With your infinite experience as a CEO and all that. Yeah, exactly.
For me, I love product and marketing, and I'm more on the sort of people creative side. So where my stretch has always been on the financial modeling and, all the engineering around cash flow and all of that. So I'm just trying to get better at that, but I've surrounded myself with people who are strong in that area. But my advice to people starting a company or who are in the beginning stages is to have that person early on in the process. So it's not enough to have a great product that solves a real problem. How the unit economics and, CAC and lifetime value and all that, and measuring those on a regular basis and staying to plan. And I think that's where entrepreneurs get in trouble is they get an infusion of cash and they have a plan. But if you could have both sides of those brains, I think are good in an early stage startup. So that's something that I'm growing into.
And you guys took an outside investment, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have, I'm assuming through that process, you have regular board meetings and all that
we do.
kind of stuff?
Yeah. So we actually have monthly board meetings. So
that sounds hideous.
Yeah. Well, we're small. We're not that big of a board. And we didn't bring in VC money. So it was angel investment. And,
nice.
But they're more, we do go over, monthly performance, where we are, challenges, but it's more of a sort of almost an extension of our leadership, type meeting more than probably a traditional board meeting right now.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest things you've learned through that process?
I think I've learned that your board is there for help, and you should not be sort of shy about asking for them to bring help with customers, make introductions. A lot of times board members are on multiple boards and they're really busy, but they're also really well connected and they're there to help. So once I started teeing up, thinking, going into each monthly meeting, what are the 2 or 3 asks, and be really specific about what those asks are and why it's important, and then follow up on those asks and every month go back to them and keep the other board members accountable. And I think a lot of CEOs probably in a startup or maybe their first time almost feel like they're reporting into their board and they're trying to impress them with, how far they've come or what they've accomplished or whatever deal they brought in that quarter or that month. And instead they should look at them as help. I have this big problem I need help with, or I need help getting into this customer. I noticed on LinkedIn that you actually know somebody there, really help them help you. And that's something that's really helped us quite a bit.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a pretty rare thing. I would echo your experience of a lot of early stage founders when they take an outside capital think that it's like a
They have to go impress them or something. Keep selling to them.
Correct.
But they want you to be successful, and they've hopefully they have all this experience from being on other boards or running other companies, and so problems are not unusual to them, and they're there to help you solve them. So,
people want to learn more about Torchlite, or if they want to connect with you online, where do they do that?
They go to torchlite.com. So it's torchlite.com. And they can go check it out. If you're interested in freelancing, we are always looking for fantastic freelancers. And then if you're also a startup who's looking for really great freelancers that can help extend your team, we can help you do that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you're thinking of launching a SaaS product, Startup Competitors can provide data on your closest competitors, survey potential users, or provide other product validation services. Learn more at startupcompetitors.com.